So I can't even lie. It's good to be back with you, man. Everybody move to the back of the bus. Man, what y'all know about Outkast, man? Man, you all know about that. We're not gonna discuss Outkast, man. We ain't gonna discuss those brothers who rock with the Dungeon family. You know what I'm saying? But what you need to know about is you need to know the game. When I talk about the game, I ain't talking about what you need to know is the game. Alright? Man, look, it's so good to be back with y'all. So good to be back with y'all, man. You know, I've made y'all wait long enough for the Voice of the People's podcast, and we in here. We in here. We ain't outside. We inside right now. You know what I'm saying? It's been a minute. It's been a little minute. Been too long, you know. Facebook banned your boy for a minute. The metaverse. I was banned from the metaverse. You know what I'm saying? But I'm back on it. We can't keep us down for too long. You could jail a revolutionary, but you can't jail a revolution. And so, what we're going to be discussing today is, as we forecasted last time that we spoke together, you and I, all of us, the people, we said we were going to talk about the structure, governmental structure, the local government here in Tuskegee. We are here live, Tuskegee, Alabama. It's in the AM. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's in the AM. I'm in the lab right now. We getting ready to cook something up. And I am just glad to have you here. And for all of those who are listening here, no matter your hue, we are glad you as a human are here with us in the thick of it. The thick of it being the struggle. I won't get into my philosophical bag too tough tonight. But politically, we got to talk. Politically, now we have to talk. We got to talk, my people. We're going to discuss here in episode 01. We had episode 00. I know many people don't do it like that, but that's how we do it here. We had episode 00, the Ground Zero episode last time we met. Today, this moment, rather, we're going to talk about, as promised, on episode 01, officially. We're going to talk about knowing the game. Look, you got to know the political game. You have to know how your local government is set up, how your local government operates. You got to know this. And guess what? It ain't even that hard. It ain't even that hard. It ain't that tough. Now, is it going to take some learning and getting to know? Yeah, for sure. But that's why we're here. That's why we're here together. We're going to take this journey, and this is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to break down our local government today in Tuskegee. By doing that, talking about Tuskegee, we're going to have to include also Macon County. You know, speaking of the commission, because Tuskegee is not just, isolated or just, existing in some kind of a vacuum of sorts, or at least not literally speaking. And so we have to speak of, how the local government breaks down, or how it's set up, rather, the structure of it. Talk about the mayor, talk about the council members, and watch this, talk about the city manager. A lot of people are not understanding how the power structure is, who has the power, who's in control, who makes everyday decisions dealing with administrative things. We are going to discuss that on this morning. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, at the time of this live recording, it's 2:11. It's 2:11 right now, a.m. But we're getting it in because that's what we do. All right. So let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. So as we're diving into this, and we, not even can't even say it's a smooth segue. We're gonna go ahead and just. So here it is. I think people are familiar. There's mayor. There's council persons or council people, council members. And then there are certain staff, you know what I mean? And then some people may be even familiar with the staff being the city attorney and the city manager and others. All right. But for the most part, all in all, that's what you get. All right. Or that seems to be the basic understanding of people who have some basic understanding of how politics go on the local level here in Tuskegee. Okay, mayor, city council person, staff. If they know specific staff, they usually are aware of the city manager, city attorney. Now, if you really know what's up, like on the if you're someone who says, shoot, I mean, if you're part of the, I would say probably 10%. If you're part of like the 10% of folks, then you gonna already know the names that I'm about to run down right now. I think, and I don't even know, I'm not, a statistician, and I ain't just really, got in and dug up the numbers and looked at it, what I'm saying, and pulled in the data to kind of come to, a real solidified number for this. But I would surmise the limited understanding that I have, knowing that there's not even 10%, barely 10% of people that are actually going out and voting, and engaged civically. You understand? I would say that maybe 10%, 10 to 15%, right, may know these names that I'm listing off in totality, right? And so here it is. And I've been here 4 months, not trying to flex at all, just letting you know, you understand, you gotta really grab a hold of it and know these people, know these individuals, know these roles, know these duties. You gotta know these things. You know what I'm saying? This is real deal. So let's go ahead and start with who the one that most folk know. Off bat. I'm gonna ask you, who your mayor? You know who your mayor is right now. It's Lawrence F. Haygood Jr. That's your mayor, Tuskegee. All right? That's your mayor, at least right now. Lawrence F. Haygood Jr. If you are in District 1, and it's not too difficult to find out if you're in District 1 or not, you can go online and if you have access to it, you can go to TuskegeeAlabama.gov, and then you can go to street listing by district, and you can, search for your district. If you need some help with that, reach out to me. If you're able to, at least reach out to me, what I'm saying, I'll walk you through it. We'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Find out what your district is. But if you're in District 1, the council member who's been elected is Norma McGowan Jackson. All right? Norma McGowan Jackson. Respect to the elder. I happen to know her. And when I say know her, I mean getting to know her. I know the work that she does, know of a lot of progress she's been pushing forward. And so, but even knowing that shouldn't stop any of us. Our relationships with individuals and knowing people should give us even more meaning to press in and to see what it is that our elected officials are doing, to know their roles, and to even press and apply pressure when need be to make sure they're getting the job done. And that's a part of why we are, being informed in this moment on knowing the game, knowing how the game is played, and being real with you, it is a game. When I say game, doesn't mean it's not serious, just means there's rules to it. Just means that some people are cheating. So when you see it as a game, I want you to mean that, okay, there's parts to play, there's roles, people, you have to be engaged. And so many games people want to play. So, hey, let's talk about this game. Let's talk about the game of politics. Let's talk about the game of local politics, because that's where it's at. Yeah, if President, Congress, all that junk, yeah, it's hard to get the trickle down from that, hard to feel that, but you can, you know what I'm saying, Roe v. Wade, things like that, power to the sisters and, you know what I'm saying, the women out here in the struggle now. Women deserve to have full range and say so over the being, mind, body, and soul. Yeah, but local government, let's keep it a buck. Local government is where we feel the most immediate impact. We have to press in. We got to. And like we must know, because that's where decisions are being made, unbeknownst to us, or known to us, whether we know or not, whether we're present or not. Things are being done. Even sometimes, even though we're present, things are being done in secret and for the purpose of corruption. We're gonna talk about that too. But you can't even act corruption if you don't understand how the game works. If you don't know the rules, you don't know when people are breaking them. Come on now. Come on. Keep it real to me. Talk back to me. Talk black to me. Let's do this. Okay? So here it is. But Lawrence F. Haygood Jr., that's the mayor. All right? At least for now, that's the mayor. Again, Lawrence F. Haygood Jr. Norma McGowan Jackson, that's a council member for District 1. District 2, Johnny Ford, council member. District 2, Johnny Ford. Now, we'll wait. Council member for District 3. District 3 council member, Orlando Whitehead. And council member at large, Frank Christopher Lee II. Huh? Lawrence F. Haygood Jr., that's the mayor. Council member for District 1, Noah McGowan Jackson. Council member District 2, Johnny Ford. Council member District 3, Orlando Whitehead. Council member at large, Frank Christopher Lee II. Now, some places, you may see, depending on what county, what city you're in or whatever, you may see a spot that says Mayor Pro Tem. Mayor Pro Tem is a mayor, and most people designate a Mayor Pro Tem whether they're listed or not. And I believe Mayor Pro Tem, and I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. Because, what I'm saying, like I said, been here 4 months, been diving in, digging in. But believe Mayor Pro Tem is Frank Chris Lee. But even if it's not, I'll say this. I'll say I stand corrected if not. And but I will say this though, that a Mayor Pro Tempore, it's a Latin. You can think mayor temporary mayor in the event that there needs to be a stand-in, needs to be a person that can, move a meeting forward and progress to be made and appoint person and blah, blah, that's someone for the time being. That's what it means, for the time being, mayor for the time being. So if you ever see that, and also you may see where it may say council member at large, like it says for Frank Christopher Lee II. Now, when you see that, that's a heavy one. That's a real heavy one, because that's usually somebody who is appointed to represent the population at large. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's at the city, on county level, state level, province, nation, whatever. A member at large, they're kind of like an all-purpose player. They're the person who, hey, they overseeing. They ain't say they overseeing, but they could even in a way be watchdogging for everybody. Now because y'all see, I'm anxious to get into it. I'm anxious to get you what you need to know. So let's get into it. Let's get into what the council folks do. All right, council people, council persons. What a council member does, and council person's job, all right, is pretty much to exercise legislative power. All right, the council is kind of like the Congress. All right, meaning they're the ones who make the laws, but they legislate, man. They're the ones who they adopt an annual city budget. They deal with the ordinances, the resolutions, the tax levies, establishing sewer and water rates. All, these things can be and most of the time are vested into the council members. All right, and this is the thing though. These individuals should, when talking about city policy, when talking about legislating, they should always be aware of the people. Not just aware of the people, but they should be a part of the people, the everyday people. They must have the heartbeat of the people to rightfully and effectively do their job. Because really they're representing, they should be representing the people. And you say, well, representing the people to who? Well, they should be representing the people of their ward, of their area. At the gathering of the collective, when all of us get together, when Tuskegee gets together, when all the wards get together, all the areas get together, and the council people say, hey, and this is how we get together. Get together should be by the connections and the communications and the cooperation of the council people in whom we elected, whom you've elected. But you got to elect them. You got to get out and actually elect them. Not saying that voting is to end all and say all. That is the solution, but that is definitely a part of the solution if you're going to stay within this system. See, I'm a revolutionary, and I'm for dismantling this imperialist, capitalist, exploitive government on a federal level, and if need be, on a local level, because it usually mirrors it, especially with current models and current philosophies and ideologies. And after dismantling said oppressive government and replacing that which has been futile for some while, that which has been proven to be evil and exploitive and oppressive and damning, with something that is more community oriented, something that is more loving, more compassionate, more giving, more sharing, and more humane, more efficient, more long lasting. So, but if we're going to stay within this system, we must operate in a way that's going to bring about some real change, so that we as black people living in the South could survive and maybe even somehow thrive. And that means we're going to have to get up and do some real actual voting, and that's going to come with having to know, okay, what it is that these individuals are supposed to even be doing for me. And so if you're having issues around in your city, in any kind of way, whether we start with the obvious potholes that most and all are obviously concerned with, that continues to wreak havoc on our vehicles and our minds and bodies, hey, look at it this way. There's not a roller coaster around for I don't know how long. So, you can just take down West Montgomery and go down there and, keep the speed limit. But you'll feel like you done been on a roller coaster. But yeah, things like that, not just things of that nature, not just, things that could be taken to the public works, because that's who deals with things like that, the potholes and whatnot. Public works, you got to, understand how to get out. But even then, the council person is a person to reach out to. They represent you. They're supposed to be there for your at your pleasure. You understand me? They're supposed to really be there at your discretion to help to create an environment conducive to life, a better life for you and I. That is really should be the job. But speaking within the framework of, speaking that political language and that talking that talk, we must understand that these individuals, council people, are those people who are dealing with the legislative powers of the city government. They're the ones who are discussing and should be helping to make city policy. Now they're doing this. Here it is now. Here go the real key players now. Because y'all thought council folk, it's their fault, it's their fault. Now, you know what I'm saying? They got to take some responsibility for sure. We all got to take responsibility because they can't fix and do everything. We got to do some stuff, you know what I'm saying? But let's try to look at some areas where we should have more hands on. So that's why we're here. So, but here it is though. Here it is. They do this looking at legislation, looking at policy. They don't just touch this because most council people that we elect, they should have come from us. But we are not a monolith as a people. You understand? And so from the lawyer, the teacher, the preacher, the store worker at Dollar General, the cashier, whether it's the farmer, whether it's the mechanic, we come from a variety of places, all connected, not just culturally, but connected, by Mother Tuskegee, our ancestors, and deeper roots than we could ever understand and even, speak on. We are not a monolith. We are a beautiful tapestry. You know what I'm saying? We as black people in this rural area, have different backgrounds. And so that being said, I must also speak the obvious and say that many of those who are in politics and on a local level, we're not, I say we, should be we, more of us must be in there, but they're not, for the most part, aware and fully engaged in, professionally looking at policy, things of that nature. Some of them have had backgrounds in political science, and there are individuals who are, have degrees and have education and have sought, learning in orthodox and unorthodox ways and all kinds of things, and power to them all. For their chosen journeys. But I'm just stating the obvious and in saying that they all and most of them, most city councils will reach out to a city manager, a city attorney. Let me not get ahead of myself. City attorney. That's a key player. The city attorney policy is not made without the advice of the city attorney. Okay. You must know this, people. You must know this, my people. If you don't know this, you don't know who to hold accountable. Let's be clear. Your city attorney or advisor, legal advisor, however they put it. City advisor, legal advisor, city attorney, whoever it is Milton C. Davis, and I'm coming to that conclusion based on the placard that is in front of him during the council meetings. And I believe that I've heard an address from Mayor Haygood or others addressing him as the city attorney. But that should definitely be listed underneath the council on the budgets and things of that nature. I see that on the budget from 2021, back when Kevin Owens was the city manager. The council persons were listed and all those information was listed, but yet I did not see anywhere where there was a city attorney listed. That was not a legal advisor for the city listed. And whenever there is a lack of transparency, when there really shouldn't be a question about it. Whenever you see things like that, you should always ask why. Is there incompetency or is there ignorance? Was it just a mistake? How long has it been? Where the city attorney or legal advisors or whatever the title is for him here, whatever title he holds here. Why is the name not? Why's the title and position name not? Given or placed in the public's view on documents and things like the budgets and online, and because people need to know who these individuals are. City manager, city attorney, and the council, which is the mayor and the city council members, all three of them, there must be you have to have the knowledge of how they all the power that they all have, and they all have power. And so for you to know the city council, for you to know the mayor, for you to know the city manager, but not know the city attorney, that's and then not have that available. Yeah. So here it is. I'm giving it to you though. You getting it. There it is. So now that you have it, you need to know that that position of city attorney is also a powerful one and should not be glanced over. You have to really vet that individual as well, and we really need to make sure to have someone in that position who is ethically, not just who's able to professionally do the job and have the expertise and the knowledge to do it, but man, they definitely got to be ethical there, because a lawyer is dealing with his own interpretation of the law, much like a rabbi in olden times or even in scriptures today. Preachers and people who look at holy text, they're giving you what thus says the Lord, so to speak, but they're giving it through their personality, through their translation, or their perception of it, their vantage point of it, their view of it. And law is the same way in a lot of ways. There are certain things, right, that are just black and white, a lot of things that are black and white, but then there's some things that are somewhat gray, no pun intended, that you have to really you're at the mercy of the person who is advising, who is giving that legal advice. And so it's heavy. It's a serious business. So let's run it down. Let's make sure we get it right. So we understand that mayor is Lawrence F. Haygood. We have for District 1, Norman McGowan Jackson. We have for District 2, Johnny Ford. We have for District 3, Orlando Whitehead. We have for Council Member at Large, we have Frank Christopher Lee II. We have for our city manager, Derek Swanson, that's our city manager. So you'll know who your peoples are, who your council peoples are. And here it is. We're going to talk about soon coming up how we can do our part civically. Now that you know who these individuals are, let's dig into who they are, what they're the part they play. What part do these individuals play? And watch this. What part do you play? You and I, we have a part to play, right? And I'm here to tell you, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. The more that we understand the part we play and get together and do our part, man, the happier we'll be. We'll start to really see some things that we'll start to really see the change, because here it is, not just doing our part through voting, but I'm talking about doing our part through making sure that we are applying pressure to the elected officials. And here it is, we figuring out how we can be hands on with being the solutions, bringing about solutions to our everyday problems, man. Everyday problems. We can do it. You and I can do it. You can do it. I can do it. We can do it. Us can do it. We got this, people. So we also want to be clear to. Let's keep it real. I want you to know every single individual that's here, that's working for the city, on the governmental front, so we can understand how to push things forward, and the people who are staffed by those individuals, like Audrey Denson, executive administrative assistant. This is real deal. So, and then you have Jesse Tatum, and online it just says staff, which is interesting. Like, what kind of staff? What does this individual do? And so, but hey, here it is. This is not trying. This is not me trying to be vindictive, a hater, or whatever. This is me wanting the people to know, wanting to know myself, wanting the people to know, hey, and you should be cool with it. You should be cool with it. Especially if you're an elected official, or you're somebody whose name I call, because here it is. Hey, man, either you took an oath, or you signed a contract, or, there's some kind of commitment and covenant that you have with either the people or your employers. And, hey, you have the responsibility to carry out your duties, do exactly what you've been asked to do by the Constitution of the Alabama State of Alabama, by City of Tuskegee, by the people, you know what I'm saying, whichever one, or by God, you know what I'm saying, all of them. You got to do what you got to do, because we're going to do what we got to do. Let's going to do what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? Now, let it be known that I'm calling this list of elected persons. I'm getting these names from TuskegeeAlabama.gov. Well, that's where I got them from. Been looked at them so long now that through the process of just getting become familiar with who they are. But originally located TuskegeeAlabama.gov. All right. So let's do this one more time, and then let's start to talk about how we can apply pressure. All right. Or what part we can play in the process. All right. So if you're living in a rural area, I believe that there is a high possibility, it's a high chance, probability, especially if you're in Alabama, that your government is set up in a similar way as this. If your town or your city is incorporated, you know what I'm saying, this is most likely how it gets down, how the breakdown goes. And so at this point, let's go ahead and deal with let's get through what we can get through. So let's understand the basics of the game. Let's know the basics of the game. So again, you got your mayor, you got your council persons, you got your city manager, you have your city attorney. Okay. The city clerk, and in our case, Tuskegee, the city clerk is Fatima D. Clark. Right. And so the city council, which is inclusive of the mayor, should be concerned with policy, casting vision. And in order to do that, you must understand the heartbeat of the people. You have to spend time with the people. They need to be properly scheduling meetings with the community that they're representing. They need to be, at any given time, they need to be accessible, and also making their way around to all the citizens in there. And that's going to be impossible to hit each and every person. But it should be known that the desire is to know and to understand and to represent each and every person, and to give each and every person an opportunity to speak and to be heard and to be a part. You understand? So these things, the council, that's inclusive of the mayor, because you have to understand that they're casting that vision for the city. They should be working to make sure that there are certain policies that are in place, whether they're looking over the ordinances for businesses, whether they're assessing the taxes, or whether they're these are the things, and any other thing that is brought up by the community that they're representing. Now, the city manager, his job is to implement that. He or she, he or her job, but their job is to implement that. You understand? That vision, to staff and hire the right people, to even appoint the right people to get it done. You know what I'm saying? So the city manager shouldn't be caught up in the rungs of politics, in the way of whether they're trying to please these people or please that people. They're working at the pleasure of the people by way of the instruction and at the discretion of the council. Right? That's how it should be. And once again, the council is inclusive of the mayor. It's not so much how it should be, I should say. That is how it is. Because we're not going to talk about how it should be. Let me remind you, I am a revolutionary, trying my best to do what is necessary to allow for us to be sustained, to sustain a society, not sustain a society, to create somewhat of a level of comfort. I dare even say, really, to be able to survive. I'm a revolutionary trying to give information for our survival. And so let me just wrap it like that. Okay. So I won't say that this is, how it should be. This is how it is, how the game is. Right. Now, city attorney becomes very, very important, especially when city officials are trying to, conduct business. Whether they're dealing with tax laws and things like this. For example, if they're dealing with tax law, they need to make sure that they have the advice or the words of the attorney, that they have the mind of the attorney at their disposal. These actions that the council partake in, certain things, drafting certain ordinances and resolutions, man, the attorney has to be right in there to make sure that things are done correctly by the law. We're talking about a book, but that's the book in this regard, by the law. Now, there must be not just an informed decision made, because now I'm gonna be real with you. Yes, if we're going to survive, there must be some getting out and some mobilizing to vote, but there needs to be understanding of the candidates. There needs to be understanding of the politics of it all, how this thing plays out. You gotta know who these individuals are to the best of your knowledge and what their roles are. Now, I've given you somewhat of what their roles are, but here it is. We need to make sure we are creating certain tools that can, when I say tools, this may come by way of committees, this may come by way of litmus tests, this may come by way of check sheets or assessments quarterly and annually, whatever. We need to come up, create these tools, design these tools that can hold these elected persons accountable. We have to. We're approaching July 4th, which I ain't really studying. You know what I'm saying? Because we went free in July 4th. We were the barbecue as black folks. Yeah, as my brother Rico Lewis would say. A lot of times back in the day, that's what it was. We weren't free then. We done celebrated Juneteenth, and that's been taken over by capitalist interests and commercialized to exploit the masses further. But here it is. We owe it to not just the work and the memory of our ancestors, but what we owe to ourselves and to the future, our children in the future. We owe it to the now to apply pressure and to make sure that we are holding these individuals accountable and say, hey, this is what we desire, this is what we want, and you need to make sure that you give it to a selected person. You need to make sure, we've put you in that place, not to just hold a place, not just to go at your own interest, but you're there to serve the people. So, hey, serve us. And I'm going to tell you something. This is what I have to tell you. All right. The best way we can hold our elected officials, not the best way, the first way that we can hold our elected officials accountable is doing what we can to show up to the meetings. With that being said, the city council for Tuskegee meets the fourth Tuesday of every month. I believe I've been catching it on the fourth Tuesday of every month. You can show up to at the municipal complex. All right, at 5:00, fourth Tuesday every month, municipal complex. You can also catch it at Tuskegee Virtual on Facebook Live. Tuskegee Virtual. You should look it up, find it. Boom. You can catch that joint being aired most of the time. Sound quality isn't the best, but there's been much progress, thanks to the elders working on that. So yeah. Now, the advertisement for the council meetings are horrid, absolutely horrible, and I have to say this is that because misleading at best or incomplete. When I go, or when you're driving through Tuskegee and you see the signage or display for announcing the city council meeting, but then it says 5:00 and doesn't give you a date, doesn't give you a day of the week, and you just kind of got to have to be a watchdog or a Facebook investigator and find it out. Because if you go to the website, it's going to show from January 28th, or January 22nd or something like that. I don't know, 25th. Excuse me. A special call meeting. It was at 4:30 at some point. That's the only thing that you can find that I've been able to find online concerning it, Tuskegee, Alabama .gov. Did I say that right, or did I butcher that? Might have butchered that. Tuskegee, Alabama.gov. Right? So I did get it right. So that's what we have to do. We have to show up to the meetings. Okay, it's going to be difficult for you to do for a lot of us, because a lot of us are dealing with the reality of work, the reality of having several different commitments that we're financially covenanted with. We're commitments that are financially lucrative for us, or I ain't gonna say lucrative, but it just needs our attention. We're caught in this capitalist system, so it's definitely not lucrative for a lot of us, but necessary for us to survive. And so we do what we have to do, and it's hard for us to get the time to sneak to or get to and show up at a council meeting. But we have to organize in a way where we can at least show face and show presence as much as we can, not just virtually, but in person when at all possible. And if we need to organize to make sure that those of us who are there can report carefully back to those who weren't there, then we need to do that. We need to do that. Even if we start posting reruns of council meetings, but we need to do that, and then we can address and approach and email, call, and speak to the right people we need to speak to. Our elected persons, our council persons, right? Councilmen and women. So that's what we can do. That's first. Not only do we show up, but we can better assess our council persons by making sure that we can come up with some sort, or even if we start with a few, but some sort of an agenda or priority or a list of ways we can say, hey, this is the way we're going to, this is what our expectations of you as a council person. This is what we desire. This is a never changing list maybe, but there are a few things or some things that just should be, and that needs to be clear. And each ward and each place needs to make sure that we're clear on that with our council persons. We need to demand meetings, demand that we are met with and talked to. I know there's several meetings that are going on already, and the council person on McGowan Jackson has a meeting. I know I'm looking forward to it. She's my council person in this ward. Looking very forward to finally making that meeting. Like I said, I haven't been here long with my family, but just looking forward to making that meeting. Also, I know Johnny Ford has a meeting as well. I believe District 1, they, 2, they do their thing. You know what I'm saying? And these meetings, these ward meetings are so important for several reasons, but one major reason is because of accountability. Yeah, accountability is important. Accountability is majorly important. Downright necessary. That's a word you're going to hear a lot from me. It's necessary. Okay? Yeah, you're going to hear Outkast in the background, but don't worry about that. You don't know nothing about that. Either you know somebody or you don't. And I don't know who you do. But yeah, back to the business at hand, knowing the game. Accountability is very much so necessary, man. And you must know the roles and responsibilities of the individuals within this local government in order that you can hold them accountable. We have to hold them accountable. We can't just hope that, the people that are elected gonna do their thing. Hopefully that we elect gonna just do the right thing. Huh? We don't know the character or motivations innately. We don't just know those things. And because we don't know the character or motivations of those who manage our communities, and because we cannot know how much their personal obligations affect their decisions, we can judge them. We must judge them and hold them accountable only by their actions and their relationships as they appear on their faith. By that's all we can. That's what we have to do it that way. I'm gonna hold you accountable, and I'm gonna do that by the actions. Yeah, I'm gonna do that by the relationships that you make, and how I'm relating to you. How you relating to us, the people? And so, just so I can make sure we're staying within the framework of the time, let me go ahead and just give you 5 ways. Just kind of wrap it up. Give you 5 ways that we can hold elected officials accountable. All right. This is going to come by way of IgniteNational.org, not co-signing by any means. Hadn't done my all the research necessary to even co-sign on the joint, but what I did like and have like is what I've been had in my what I've had in my arsenal for a couple of years now. The article was written back in 11/9/20. You know what I'm saying? Back in November of 2020. But it gives some things that can, you know what I'm saying, help us to. It gives us 5 things, right? Number 1, follow your representatives' voting patterns. Follow your representative voting patterns. See what, are they like back when we was in Opelika? Excuse me, back when we was in Lee County. And Opelika had this thing where they didn't want for individuals to have certain houses and written these certain houses out in a certain area. Okay, I ain't trying to insult your intelligence, but I want you to understand what I'm saying. So let me slow it down. Opelika had a ordinance in place. So they were talking about discussing placing an ordinance, putting an ordinance in place, right? It was policy now that would limit the type of housing or type of renting that you could do with the building that you own, with the home that you owned, right? These long-term rental deals, all right? This ordeal called for a vote. And the council people are going to have to vote on certain things like that, and people were upset because they own these properties and wanted to rent them out, and Opelika wasn't letting them. They was about to cut it to where, hey, y'all ain't gonna be able to rent these things out like this, And excuse me, Auburn, that's right. I stand corrected. Auburn. I was heavy on the redistricting joint when this was going on too. This was overlapping, so it was that was the priority for me at the time, and it was affecting our people more readily. It seemed to be affecting more of the common folks, the everyday people. But it was Auburn that had that issue, and these people upset, and rightfully so, coming from their vantage point. You know what I'm saying? Speaking to their certain interests. Yeah, they was upset. And they had to, and so it's important to watch the way your council people vote when it comes around to certain policies, certain things, certain ordinances, and the passing of certain things, agreeing to certain businesses moving into the town, agreeing to certain kinds of businesses, certain kinds of economic development. I mean, watch this stuff now. You know what I'm saying? Watch these things. So, number 1, follow your representative's voting pattern. Number 2, know how to contact your legislators now. Know how to contact them now. Whoismyrepresentative.com. That's a quick way to get some answers, but they're not going to always give you the answers you need, right? Whoismyrepresentative.com can tell you most of the time who your representatives are, but when it comes to local level, it can sometimes be a little iffy. Hopefully, you can go to the website if you live in Tuskegee, TuskegeeAlabama.gov, and give you somewhat of an idea, to give you your council person, to give you the mayor, which is yet again another council person, give you the city manager. It will not give you the city attorney. Once again, Miles C. Davis is the city's legal advisor attorney. To some degree, don't see any documentation to that, any kind of place online that can tell you that on the city's website, but that I could find. And if it's found, please let me know, and I will stand corrected. But that's what you got right now. But you gotta know how to contact your legislators. All right. This again goes back to, holding accountable, having accountability, applying that pressure to get things done in the community. Oh, they talk a lot, they do this, but they don't. Well, a lot of time they can talk and talk and talk and talk, especially when you ain't making them walk the walk. But we have ways of making them do what we need them to do, and we got to do that. Okay? So you could, first you do need to follow your representative voting pattern. You need to know how to contact your legislators. You need to attend community events, right? Attend community events. Don't just email your legislator, or your council person. Don't just call the city clerk and complain about whatever. Don't just get out and attend community events. All right. What is this going to do? Well, this is going to show that you actually care about what's going on in the community, and you care about how things are going in the community. And it means, watch this, that you're paying attention. You're paying attention. You're just going to show face and show out your fashion. I know you look good, but you ain't just going for that. No, you ain't just going for that. You're going so that you can watch and see, enjoy yourself, be aware, attend these events. Also, you can organize a rally. You can organize a rally, especially when you get to the point where you've been attending the meetings, you organize other individuals around a certain issue. You've tried your best to talk to your elected persons, and even then, they may be on your side, but a gridlock because the other council persons aren't voting in favor. However it may be. Boom, it may be time. It may be that time for agitation. W.E.B. Du Bois used to talk to his good friend Booker T. Washington back in the day, and they used to talk about when the time was for agitation. And although Booker T, as wise as he was, did not believe in agitation up front in the in-your-face way, he supported a lot of what W.E.B. Du Bois did through the creation of the NAACP and other things, the Legal Defense Fund with Thurgood Marshall. And them, you know what I'm saying, and some other Jewish brothers and sisters. If I can stretch it to say that in the human family, we understand that agitation is a necessary component in the society, and especially for people that are oppressed and people that are continually disenfranchised and looked over and silenced, overworked, which is one way of silencing us, underappreciated, all that jazz. Sometimes a rally, a march, a protest is necessary. And I'm not even gonna pause you on that. I'm not gonna even pause you on that. I'm gonna just press that and let that go. You understand me? Press play on that. Organize a rally, march, or protest. That is a valid way, valid response at a proper time. At that time, when you feel as though we've done what we need to do, tried to meet, tried to get it going, things ain't happening the way it need to happen. Friction is necessary. Get out there in the street and cause some friction in an organized way. Do it the way you need to do it with the people you need to do it with. Make sure it's done effectively and efficiently. All right. Moving on. Some of y'all were waiting to hear some words or some words to rein it back in, but I ain't got them for you. The next thing you can do is you can use social media to highlight the impact of a policy or shortcoming of your representative. All right. Now this is just being real. I'm just gonna tell you what it is. You can follow your representative voting patterns. You need to know how. You better know how to contact your legislators, your representative, your council person, your mayor, your public works department head. You better know how to chief. The sheriff. Even though me being who I am, being man, I wish I had time to deal with my abolitionist ways. Not just defund it. I'm talking about abolish. We'll get into that bag later, but let's just hold it here. Contact your legislators, attend community events, organize a rally, march, or protest. But here it is: use social media to highlight the impact of a policy or shortcoming of your representative. It sounds like a smear campaign, but that ain't what it is. I'm not trying to get you sued for libel. I'm just trying to get you motivated to do what you need to do, which may be bringing light to what was once in the dark. Social media is a great tool if used correctly. policy at the proper time. You might not want to go for the big gun, because that is a big gun. You might not want to go for the big gun at the very beginning of it. You know what I'm saying? You might want to try to be strategic in how you use these pressures, right? But use social media to highlight the impact of a policy or shortcoming of your representative. It's there. It's there, and there's a way to do it. All right. You approached, you reached out, you've attended the meetings, you've been to the community events. You know what I'm saying? This at this point, you've done all you can to show yourself reasonable. And hey, the next reasonable step is for you to step out on social media. You know, you've done the protesting, and hey, it's time to put the pictures of the protest up. It's time to go ahead and let the folks know what the heck is going on out here. And hey, we gotta make a change, you know. And sometimes you got to do it that way. Sometimes it just has to be done that way. Okay. So look, I need you to understand this. Let me give it to you real fast. In a minute's time, hopefully I can run it back without skipping a line. Here it is. Y'all like that, didn't you? A little bit of somewhat of a freestyle, not really, but here it is. You got in Tuskegee, Alabama, knowing the game. Let me put you up on game with this. Your mayor. Your mayor is Hey Good. I'm doing this off the top of my head, Lawrence of Hey Good. You not just is that your mayor, but your council person for Ward number 1 is Norma McGowan Jackson. All right. Your council person for Ward 2 is Johnny Ford. The council person for Ward 3 is Orlando Whitehead. Council person for Ward 4, council person member at large is Frank Christopher Lee the second. All right. And so, you know, that's what you have there. Mayor and ward council persons create the council. The council equals mayor and city council members. That's the council. Okay. Deal with policy, cast vision, knowing the people, supposed to be out and about, doing their thing, collecting the thoughts, collecting the issues, praising folks, praying, you know what I'm saying, for a better day, all that good jazz right there. You know what I'm saying? Ear to the people, finger on the pulse, knowing what's going on, policy, ordinances, which is inclusive in policy, you know, making things go. So that's that. Then you have the city manager. City manager takes the vision that is casted by the mayor and the council, which is the city council. Take the vision that's casted by the council, takes that, implements it by the getting the right staff, employing the right people. You know what I'm saying? With all that's being done with the help and the advice of the city attorney or the legal advisor. Now, I want to say this. City manager is Derek Swanson, right? And he may implement his staff, Jesse Tatum. You know what I'm saying? He may another staff member, Andre Denson. You know what I'm saying? Or Audrey Denson, executive administrative assistant. In any individuals that fall up under his rule or his instruction, his administration. So he used them to get that vision done, to get the vision that's casted by the council done, to implement these things. And like I said, all that is done with with the advice, the legal advice of Mount C. Davis, Attorney Mount C. Davis. And that's how we deal with it. That's the game. That's the game. Those are the players of the game, I should say. That's not all the game, but those are the key players of the game. You are a key player. I am a key player. And we can, at this point, we'll stop it right here. We don't want to spin the wheels too much. Don't want to keep chewing on the same piece of wood. Don't want to keep chopping at the same tree, biting at the same bit. All right? We gonna go ahead and call this episode 01. Last week was 00. This episode 01. We'll go ahead and call it. All right. Hey, I love y'all. Make sure you know that. More than that, no, not only does the creator, the divine God loves you, the universe is there at your disposal, but also know that you should love you. Hey, my name is Joshua X. Lewis. I am your host of the Voice of the People podcast, People Power Politics, being black in the Road South. It was glad to have you here. on today. You've waited long enough. Power to the people, all of the power to all of the people. We up and we woke.